Erased Matriarchy. Unearthing the history of female power.
We tend to assume that the modern hospital birth with a male doctor commanding the room is just the natural result of better science. We think men took over because they were simply safer. But on this episode of Erased Matriarchy, we are tracing the moment that safety was turned into a weapon. It starts with a locked door.
A locked door?
Before the 17th century, the birthing chamber was a fortress. It was dark, hot, and strictly female. Windows were sealed. Keyholes were stuffed with cloth to keep drafts and prying eyes out. It wasn't just tradition, it was the law. Men were forbidden.
Forbidden like it was rude to go in, or forbidden like illegal?
Illegal. In 1522, a physician named Dr. Wirt was actually burned at the stake in Hamburg. His crime? He dressed as a woman to observe a birth. That is how fiercely this space was guarded. It was a matriarchal zone where knowledge was passed from mother to midwife, hand to hand.
So how did we get from burning men at the stake to, well, men running the whole show?
It wasn't a gradual evolution. It was a hostile takeover, spearheaded by one family, the Chamberlens. They were French refugees living in London, and they had something no one else had, a secret. Whenever a labor stalled, when the midwife had done all she could and the mother was fading, the Chamberlens would be called. The heroes arriving at the last minute. That's certainly how they staged it. Imagine the scene. A carriage pulls up. Two men struggle to carry a massive gilded wooden chest into the house. It's incredibly heavy. They order everyone out of the room, the midwives, the mother's sisters, everyone. Then they blindfold the woman giving birth.
Wait, they blindfolded the woman while she was in labor?
They didn't want anyone to see the technique. They would even ring bells or thump on the floorboards to mask the sounds of metal clicking. But minutes later, a living baby, a surviving mother. It seemed like a miracle.
Okay, but hiding the cure? That feels wrong.
It was capitalism. The miracle in the box was the obstetric forceps, two curved iron spoons that could lock together to grip a baby's head. It changed everything. But the Chamberlens didn't share it to save lives. They kept it a trade secret for over a century to build a fortune.
A century? That's 3 generations of women dying just so one family could stay rich.
Precisely. And that silence did the damage, because for 100 years, the public saw a clear pattern. Midwives, with their herbs and patience, failed at the hard cases. Men, with their secret box, succeeded. It created a narrative that female knowledge was ignorant and male intervention was salvation.
But the midwives weren't ignorant. They just didn't have the tools because the guys wouldn't share them.
Exactly. By the time the secret leaked in the 1700s, the hierarchy was set. Medical guilds passed laws classifying any instrument use as surgery.
And let me guess, women weren't allowed to be surgeons.
You got it. The tool that could have helped midwives save more lives was used to legislate them out of existence. Birth was redefined from a natural process to a pathology that required a man's hand. It wasn't that women lacked the skill to use forceps, it's that the tool was used to break their authority.
Wow.
So, when you look at the history of obstetrics, remember this. The shift from midwife to doctor wasn't about who cared more or who was smarter. It was about who owned the patent on the iron hands. We traded female wisdom for a monopoly, and we are still living in the system that secret built.
Ignite your muse with drops of inspiration. Search Musedrops.